That hurt.
All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. All right. That was a game that was watchable. It was really good. Actually,
quite enjoyable.
Yeah. Most of the games have been watchable since the game we attended in Columbus in person.
Since you mean since we changed the 3-4-2-1?
Yes.
Officially changed to it.
Right, because we tried it the game before in Korea in the second half, I think it was, and it looked a lot better. And now we're just sticking with it. And that was one of my 3 things we could learn, which is, are we sticking to this formation? Of course, my gut was, of course we're sticking to this formation. We're not changing this. And even later in the game, when players were subbed in and subbed out, who fell back into the CB spot? Tanner Tessman. So who got his
once they start making changes, they pulled like Scally out and put Freeman in. I was like, I have no idea what formation we're going to now, guys.
Yep, Tessman dropped back to that CB, so Tack got his wish. He got to see Tessman play center back. So there you go. And he's fully capable of doing it. By the way, Tessman, another guy that I think had a really good game. Yeah, he had some moments where you're like, okay. But
let me pull up the starting 11. We'll go over this a little more in depth here.
Yeah.
So,
by the way,
here's our starting 11.
What is wrong with these people?
Oh my God!
How could they get this more wrong?
Oh man, it's like they just drew names out of a hat for positions.
It's unbelievable. Tim Ream's playing left back suddenly. No, he's playing left center back, and Arson's playing left wing back. Yeah, I mean, Dest is playing right wing back, not right back. These are subtle differences, but they make a fucking difference. They really do.
Brenden Aaronson is our second striker. That's a role for him. Let's put him closer to the box.
I mean, it baffles me, and I mentioned it last night on Twitter. It's like, can we at some point get somebody who is either the producer to talk to somebody who knows anything about soccer before putting these lineups up? Because it's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. And my dad's like, oh, we're playing what is that? A 4-2-2-2? I'm like, no.
Chris Gary pointed out, we're playing the empty bucket.
Yeah. I said, Dad, no. Don't pay attention to that. Nope. That's wrong. I said, Dad, we're playing a 3-4-2-1. And the game started. My dad's like, you're right. We are playing a 3-4-2. Like, even my dad. I mean, my dad coached soccer for, most of my youth. So he knows different formations. He played soccer in Germany with his army team, against the local German teams. They had their own little team playing like the 6th or 7th division or pub ball or whatever that's called.
Sure.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad player. He's not a good player. He's rather not a good player, actually. But, they got their asses kicked by all the local German teams, the older teams, the pub teams, the drinkers, the fatsos, and whatever in the 7th division. Was local around Erlangen, and then later in Berlin. He kept playing.
Grew up playing that sport. Even if you're overweight and drunk half the time, you're still going to know how to play the game.
Well, the good news was for the team was in some of the places Pakistanis and other different people from different countries, England, they train in the United States Army. So they had this group of foreigners, which made them okay. They were okay. Right. But the rest of the team, the American portion of the team was pretty bad.
Threw them out in the wings and said, hey, just run up and down the pitch.
Kind of. Yeah. I think my dad played
you're in the center
back. Yeah. And then even that went all the way to Leavenworth when each of the companies had to form a team. You got a soccer team during one part of the season. And then the company had to form a flag football team for one other part. And it was always competition between the different companies or the groups. They grouped them in somehow in Leavenworth. I don't know how, because that's a training school. But, you got like 50 guys. It's less half of a company to pick from and form a team. And then they had baseball, like 3 different sports throughout the system. My dad played soccer. He knows formations pretty well. So, Yeah.
And they matter.
And they do matter. And even Jimmy Conrad, who told us back in 2012 that they don't matter, now absolutely agrees that they do. He's like, you guys are really hung up on this formation. It doesn't matter. Once you're on the field, it doesn't matter what the formation is. Okay, tell that to Steve Sampson in the '98 World Cup.
I mean, I feel like a lot of that stems from him just being out of being a player, and then he's like, hey, when you're on the pitch, you have your roles, you know where you're at, but the formation itself is so fluid, it changes. I think that's really what his argument was. But then he started doing some courses and getting his licenses, and all of a sudden he's like, no. I mean, I was really kind of undercutting the importance of formations in the sense of just knowing where you need to be in your role on the field.
Absolutely. I mean,
which I know he knew.
He knew.
But I think he's saying, hey, it's so fluid, it's interchangeable. We can move. If I move up, somebody's covering my back. Whatever. That type of thing.
It's less that now. Things are much more game planned out than they used to be, even in international soccer.
Yeah.
Yes, when I played high school soccer, I didn't even think of the formation. I just knew what my job was on the team, right? Midfielder, right? And we played a fucking weird ass 3-1-3-3. Okay, weird. Who plays that? I don't know. Not many people do. But yeah, formations do matter. And in this case, guys, can we get this right? Please, just once. Just one time before a game, can we get this right? All right, so let's get the real.
It should be pretty straight. It should be pretty straightforward when you're looking at the roster where they're falling in to line.
It's very easy. In fact, usually if I wasn't at my parents' this weekend, I would have put up my usual. I always put up what the starting 11 is, and I get it 99% of the time. I get it right.
Let's assume for a second that Poach was actually in the empty bucket. There's no chance in hell that Tim Ream is playing at left back.
No way.
I'm sorry. Either Dexter Scally is going to be over there, and Tim Ream and Robinson are going to play as a dual center back. If we're playing this in this formation,
yes, we would have been much more vulnerable playing this formation. That's for sure.
100%. Yes. Would have been dumb. Would have been dumb.
So, do we have the real starting 11 up somewhere?
I mean, this is the starting 11.
Let's just make one real quick for the show.
You cheeky bugger.
Let's do it. So we're not talking. I don't want that up. That's embarrassing. While we're talking about the game, I don't want that up on the screen. That's embarrassing. So let's make our own that's legit. Freeze was playing goalkeeper. Yep. Scally. Yep. Miles Robinson. There we go. And then Ream.
Click on it.
All right, Dest. Other side. Well, doesn't matter. But other side, it's Aaronson. And one of the other reasons it really does matter is Aaronson played left wing back and not left back. And he had his bad moments on defense. Mostly he was very good all game. But the reason he can be very good going forward is he doesn't have to play left back. He's playing left wing back. He's got a lot more freedom with three center backs, except for the weird times Scally went forward, which weren't many.
Yeah, that happened. It happened enough that I actually sat there and made a comment on Twitter. I'm like, I'm noticing Scally's getting up a lot more than previous.
Why? Games. Yeah, I just couldn't figure it out because he provided nothing. I know that you often want to overload a side, and you can do that by bringing a center back up, but then you're just leaving yourself open and exposed, and that's what happened on a counter. So, I wasn't thrilled about that. He didn't do it all game. It was selective moments. And I was yelling at the screen a couple times. No. Get back. Tuck in. And
I wonder if Poach was giving Scally more freedom because Dest is on the wing at that point as the wing back, and that if he does push forward, he has somebody that's fast enough to recover back. I don't know.
Yeah, but as far up the pitch as Dest was getting, that's risky shit.
I've never seen one of our other center backs on a trio actually pushing that far up. So that was again something I noticed during the game, and it was enough for me to sit there and say, like, I'm noticing this. What the hell's happening here?
Yeah, what is going on there? I know it made me very uncomfortable. Like I said, it didn't happen the whole game.
No.
But it was enough. There were I think I counted 4 times where I'm like, why are you so fucking far up the pitch? I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable, frankly. Now, you could say Miles Robinson's got no legs to cover in case of emergency. And but then you got Tessman way up the pitch too on some of those occasions. And they're overloading that side. So you got little old Roldan. And sometimes he was far up the pitch too, leaving Robinson and Ream all alone at center back. The 2 center back spots. So I was more comfortable when Scally went back and stayed.
Well, and I will say, leading up to that first goal, I think Scally was in the progression of moving forward.
Yeah.
Which is why he was caught out of position on that quick one-touch ball over top to Almiron. First off, every single bit of contact that came his way, I swear to God, I feel like he was giving birth. That's the anguish I saw on his face.
Yeah.
Every time he fell down to the ground, like,
Almiron? Yeah. What an actor.
Oh my God, what a little sissy bitch.
I know my dad.
Good player, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, what a little sissy bitch. But yeah, I think that's what ended up resulting in the opportunity for our first goal. Now, mind you, there was another piece that helped cause that, and that was the fact that Robinson and Ream just decided not to mark up the one guy that's in the box.
Well, Ream was so far over to the left.
True. He was coming back. You're right.
I mean, he was coming back, but the play started, and he was so far up the pitch. It's just ridiculous. So you only really had Robinson for any hope of stopping that. And it was a good cross by Almiron. It was right on the noggin after a bounce. And
as a center back, though, I mean, you got as the ball goes out wide, you've got to scan behind you, find out who's coming in, because there's only one guy in the box. Why are you cutting near post?
So this is a part of maybe Poach's philosophy, but at the same time, it happened to Richards, and Richards was left on an island and got burned. Mm-hmm. This time, Scally is too far up the pitch, playing a high line, and he gets burned, and then Robinson's so high up, he barely gets back to provide any cover, and Ream's so high up, he's nowhere in the fucking picture practically.
Yeah.
So this is not good. You cannot do this. You cannot leave the back 3 on an island by pushing them so high that it makes that long ball a possibility, an easy possibility. So that's what happened. And it happened against Richards the game before. It's the same thing.
I do want to bring something up about this play, though, because we've talked about Doug McIntyre a couple of shows now, talking about Gio, constantly bringing Gio up. And apparently had this tweet or description about the play. Raina's lack of defensive pressure, never a strong suit anyways, gives Paraguay a long pass over the entire U.S. backline, allowing Miguel to pick up Arce in the box with the one touch.
It's not who we're blaming this on. We're not blaming it on the high line.
They mentioned the 3 back were slow to react, but it was just the way it starts off. It's like, Raina's lack of defensive pressure. You mean the defensive pressure 60, 65 yards away from our goal?
Give me a fucking break.
I'll give you that one, buddy. Whatever.
No, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. They weren't playing super. None of the front 3, if you want to call them that, Balogun and Aaronson and Raina, were playing a constant high pressure ball. That's not what they did all game. They hovered, but they weren't like totally up in Paraguay's grill constantly. And this is one of the instances where they weren't.
Well, and here's the thing with Gio's defensive pressure. Now, of course, I think he's improved over the past couple of years when being required to play more defensive roles, not roles, but just more defensive responsibilities. I think he's improved. I think the concept of his defensive ability sucks donkey balls is just one that's antiquated. It's past it at this point.
He proved it at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, and I'll say this much: when watching him play, and Paraguay is moving it around the back, everything like that. Keep an eye on where Gio's moving. He's cutting. He's not sprinting like a chicken with his head cut off. He's cutting off passing lanes. He's moving spaces, and he's forcing it this way. And he's every time they pass it back, the entire U.S. attack is taking a couple steps forward. Then they're moving around, taking a couple steps forward, and then all of a sudden they force an air play, whether it's a bad pass out of bounds or they deflect the ball. But it's not just run.
You watch Raina play. His head's on a swivel. He's always turning around to look where the lanes are, and he's shutting down the lanes. Was he supposed to constantly put a player's grill when he knows that player? Just pass it off once he gets there, and now he's out of position. That's not how this game is played. You, as a three front, you hover together, right? And you're covering space together, right? It's not just now. If one guy goes, then everybody got to go. But that's not what really happened a lot. It happened on occasions, and we
got some deflections too. We cornered them. We got some deflections.
Yeah,
there's a play where Death did that too, where he pressed real quick and got the deflection and had an offensive opportunity, a nice little counterattack. But
but the circumstances have to be right, and they weren't always. And when they weren't, we didn't.
Exactly.
And on that occasion, where that long ball, like that's just the back three falling asleep. That's as simple as that. I don't care
if it's pushing up and getting out of position.
Or if that was Raina or Balogun who didn't apply the pressure that was necessary. Either way, that ball cannot happen. The back three's got to be a little bit more on their toes than that.
Mm-hmm.
And they shouldn't be pushed that high, frankly.
Yeah.
Just not good.
Yeah. Since we kind of already talked about it, let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Gio's back.
Yep.
Minus the 20 minutes against Canada for the first time in about 18 months. Bags a goal in the 4th minute. Bags a kind of assist, quasi-assist, if you will, but in the 68th minute.
Yeah.
Gotta say, I kind of feel like Raina got robbed the man of the match award. And it went to Balogun, and I posted this because people were complaining about this on Twitter. I posted, I'm like, it's when you're giving out like a man of the match award, it's hard not to give it to the guy who ends up scoring the game-winning goal.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, because outside that goal, I mean, Balogun was not as
ghost.
Well, I feel like I was trying to word myself properly here because I was like safely saying that he wasn't very effective in the sense that every time the ball came anywhere near him, Paraguay had 2 elbows and a dick up his ass.
Yeah, no, he got knocked around a lot, but he barely touched the ball in the first half. And I mean, again, my parents, they're not experts, but they notice things. They're like, our guy up top, and what's his name? I'm like, Balogun. Yes, he hasn't touched the ball. Hardly at all. And I'm like, yep, you're correct. He is not. And that's not all his fault, obviously. It's not all his fault. But, sometimes you got to move into some open space to make yourself available, which is what Balogun did a great job at in the last 3 games before this one. Mm-hmm. Now, they may have manned up on him, and that made it more difficult. It sure looked like they did.
And I made this comment when people start complaining about Sargent when he was playing with us and everything, and they're like, "Oh man, he's touched the ball 9 times in the game total." I'm like, well, I mean, go back and rewatch it. There were plenty of times where he would make the run. The ball just never got to him. They decided to pull it back and pass back to Adams or McKinney or whatever, or they played out wide to Aaronson or whoever, But the ball just like the strikers are making the runs a lot of the times, but the balls just never find their way to them. And I don't know if it's the indecisiveness of our players with the ball in the final third. Instead of looking to make that final pass, they try to play it out wide and bring it back in and all that stuff. Maintain the possession. Today's football and all, but
well, there was at least less of that, right? That was the other great thing that both of my parental units noticed, which was, hey, this ball's moving a lot. This isn't that other guy they can't even remember his name. Berhalter? Yeah, Berhalter. Yeah, the ball, that was boring. I hated watching those games.
Yeah.
Yes, this is much better, a better watch. This is a better watch. The ball moves. It doesn't stick. It doesn't always go backwards. Those were the habits that Poach talked about before that we need to break. Stop playing into our comfort zone. Go ahead and take a chance. Push the ball forward more. We saw that. It didn't hurt to have Raina on the pitch either, because Aaronson's not going to provide a whole lot in the final third. But Raina sure can.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up Brenden here because it's like we're going to talk about some general topics here and then cover each player, and then we'll do a lineup for who we think who's going to play in Uruguay and everything. But I wanted to talk about Brenden Aaronson because there were moments again that were good.
He carried the ball forward. Yeah,
there were a couple times where he spun himself on a dime and like split guys, but then you get into that final third of him having to make a decision, and it's just shitting the bed. It seems like it's like what's happening here.
Yep.
What?
It's leads all over.
How can you do 85-90% of the work and then just flub the last 10%? It boggles my mind.
If you watch Leeds every weekend, Brett, this is not surprising. I know you don't. I do. It's just
work on that.
It's the same thing. It's like he is valuable on the pitch. He does good things. He carries the ball forward. A couple games ago with Leeds, he had an assist. And not long before that, he had a goal. All right, great. Where's more of that? We need more of that. And so even his own coach saying, well, we know he struggles in the final third. Ouch. Ouch. Yes, he does. But now it's in his head, though, I think.
Yeah, but then work on that. Work on those final passes. Work on the small things, because that you have to be. If you're Brenden, you have to look at your game and say, well, this is my glaring hole. This is where I failed 90% of the time.
Can you work on that, though, Brett? Because that's split decision thinking. He just doesn't seem to have it. Either you got that or you don't.
I guess it'd just be the creating the habit of receiving the ball, turning, and looking to pass immediately. To split the defense. Just I mean, it'd be just work it into your brain that you're hardwired. Maybe not necessarily seeing the matrix. You're not going to be messy. You're not going to see these fancy things you can do and everything like that. But just get the habit down of having your back to ball, spinning around, turning, and then slotting in between two pylons or something like that. Just work on that right there. That's all you got to do. Just make it habitual.
I guess. I mean, I know that there are certain players at certain levels, doesn't matter. But like Messi can look up and he can immediately see everything.
He sees the matrix. He sees the coding.
He does see the matrix.
Yeah.
Aaronson sees no matrix. No matrix at all.
He sees the woman in the red dress is what he sees.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if that's something you can teach.
Yeah.
I don't know it. I think Aaronson is who he is, and I don't know. Now, that's soccer IQ, right, too. Sure. Maybe as he gets older, he'll be more calm on the ball. That's his other problem. He's a spaz when he gets it there, right?
Yeah. Somebody posted the like a small little snippet of Gio running towards the corner flag after scoring his goal, and it's zoomed in on him. And all of a sudden, Brenden Aaronson comes from behind, pats him on the chest, and then continues to run. I made a comment on Twitter. I was like, BA said, hey, great goal. I'd love to celebrate you, but you're doing it too slow. Bye. It's just like, where did he go? The guy celebrating the goals over here. Why are you continuing to run?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
He's a little bit of a spaz, and that's part of his the spaz part is good on defense sometimes, and it's his energy's good, but yeah,
who was it that dubbed him the Gnat? He's like a gnat.
He is kind of like a gnat.
Somebody said that on the U.S. team. It was Jedi or something like that. Like, oh yeah,
probably.
Oh man, Brenden is. Oh man, he constantly pesters. He's kind of like a gnat.
Well, he had a chance here to make himself a part of the conversation of the tens, which is very clearly in my eyes right now. Tillman, Raina, Luna, Pulisic, Aaronson, and maybe Haji Wright, depending on how.
I'm surprised you included Luna in there, Derek.
Poach sees it.
Masculine hater.
Yeah, I mean, don't listen to people who say that we hate Luna. I think that actually Luna had some really good moments when he came on. So
yeah, I feel like, quite frankly, for the most part, when Luna does come on, he's more of an impact player. And I'm not saying he's making impacts by any means, but he's looking, trying to progress the ball forward. He should have gotten an assist.
Yep,
he should have gotten an assist. And as I mentioned before on Twitter, it's like Pepi did a very un-Pepi-like thing.
Yes,
Whereas
he did.
9 times out of 10, he would have put that away. And that's not me bashing on Pepi. That's me saying 9 times out of 10, he would have taken that left-footed one time instead of trying to drag it over to his right.
He just had a brain fart. He seriously had a brain fart. Yep.
He's looking at it, goes, this is too easy of a goal. Oh, no, I got to make it more difficult on myself.
Well, I mean, the ball was a little behind him, but in going back to reach for it, he tapped it too hard because it should have been a trap, left foot shot, done. But he hit it so hard with his left foot as he reached back for it, and it ended up bouncing off his right foot.
See,
it was a disaster.
I look at it a little bit different. Maybe I can't quite put myself in his shoes as far as how he felt positionally, his balance and stuff like that. But I think if that ball came across and he's playing at PSV, I think he's taking that one time with his left foot in. Because here's the thing: I took a snippet, I posted it on Twitter. The goal was 100% open. I mean, he could have flubbed a shot with his left foot and it would have trickled in.
He could have probably tried to shoot that first time.
I would have. I don't know if I would have put it away, but I'm just saying I would have.
It would have been one of those kind of chop left footers where you chop down on it, right? To get it to go straight, because obviously it's behind you, so you're going to have to chop.
If he was able to chop it to his right foot at that point, you could have chopped it forward because the right foot is further, obviously, to the right than the rest of the goal. All you had to do was just put it on goal. The goal is wide open.
He got caught in two minds. That's too much thinking, by the way, for a striker.
Oh, sure.
And decided to trap it, and he couldn't because it was behind him. It bounced off his left foot, went to his right foot, which it bounced off the right foot from the left foot, and now you've missed an opportunity. Now the angle's decreasing, the goalkeeper's shutting it down, the defenders are shutting it down.
Yep, exactly.
So that was a tragic. I hate it for him. He's waited a long time to go play, but
right here.
Yep, that's a if we get I wish we could get closer in.
I'm going to do that right now.
Because if you look at it, how far behind him is the ball? It's behind him. It's on the very tippy toes of his left foot. But just tap that in.
Tap it in. The goal's completely open.
Yep. Tap it in.
Just put it in the direction of the goal. The goalkeeper's not going to get to it in time. Yep. But he ends up tapping it over to his right, spinning around. The goalkeeper spins. The other guy, this defender on the left right here, gets over to it.
Yep.
Now, again, I think if Pepi is flying high, is getting playing time at PSV, he's scoring goals, he's taking that one touch, guaranteed.
Well, if you look at his positioning before this, it's about 2 feet further forward. So he had to come back to get it. And yeah, you would think a player at his level could just tap that in with his toes. With his toes, right?
Yeah, and this isn't me bashing Pepi. I'm still saying, hey, Pepi's vying for that number 1 spot right now. Balogun's on a streak, of course, but
I think the job is Balogun's to lose.
I agree. I do agree at this point.
Yep.
He's basically scored every goal. He's scored every game he's played.
He's our number 1 up top. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, Pepi's vying for that spot still. He's him and Balogun are my 2 strikers at this point. I think those are basically the 2 strikers for everybody at this point.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I'm just saying, hey, Pepi puts that away more often than not, right there.
Yeah, it was a weird moment. The whole family was screaming at the top of their lungs. My dad, my mom.
Did you see after the ball got deflected to the right? Pepi just stood there. He's like, "What the fuck just happened?"
It looked like he was so shocked he had a brain fart. Yes.
Yeah, it was just like, "Oh, what just happened, guys?"
Yeah, brain fartism.
So
let's go through the whole lineup.
Let's go through the lineup because I feel like we've already talked about the major parts of the game itself. Yeah. I feel like for the most part, minus the last 10 minutes of the game, we dominated possession. They had a couple decent opportunities, plus the goal, of course.
Yeah.
But I felt like we were the better team on the pitch.
It almost looked like an exercise at the end on our part by Poached.
Can we hold on?
Can we hold on? I just want to see if you can do it. That's it.
I'll bring up one more thing before we talk about the players here. We got to talk about the fight at the end of the game.
Oh,
before we
talk
about the actual fight itself, I will say as much as I was kind of the ref let the game play for both sides. He didn't call many fouls. He didn't give out many yellow cards. I mean, he just let shit go, which is fine. He let it go both ways. That's the big thing.
Yep.
The fight happens at the end of the game. I think there was one person on our team I think that had a bloody lip.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was though. But the ref had his cards down, everything like that. And then he put the cards away and then just played the game. And I think that was the right decision to make. Instead of it's the end of a friendly.
Yep.
They've calmed it down. Just let him go.
Yeah.
The last 2 or 3 minutes, let it go.
Yep.
So I agree with that.
He did the right thing. Yep. He did the right thing.
I will say one thing about the fight itself. I really liked the fact that the U.S. came in. I'm going to use the term swinging, but they weren't swinging per se.
Aggressive.
But they came in really up their butts, like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You know?
Yep.
But instead of just sort of like, hey guys, calm it down. You know?
Yep. No, it's good to see.
Berhalter was there first. After Freeman got placed into a headlock.
Yeah, that was stupid.
That
was a dumb thing to do by the other team. Why a headlock? Give me a break. You're wrestling for the ball. Don't put the guy in a headlock.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Freeze was fine. The goal's not his fault. And
I was gonna say I had a couple of people point out that he should have came out and collected. I don't think he had an opportunity to do so.
I don't think so.
I'd have to go back and watch it, but I don't think he had the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I mean, he would have had to jump punch that. Yeah. So I don't know.
I think Freeze is okay. Risky. I don't think he was overly tested, quite frankly. So I mean, but this is the calling card right now for Freeze. Like we're sitting here going, like, well, these have been great games. Well, Freeze hasn't really been tested in any of the games.
No,
he's come up big a couple times here, and when he's asked, he's come up for the most part.
There's one good save where you had to put it over the bar.
Yeah.
On a hard shot.
For the most part, none of these games have really put him on. Like you're going to get tested here, shot after shot after shot. There's no Belgium game, right, for Howard.
Yeah, my mom's like, "Where's Matt Turner?" I said, "He's not on the team.
He's resting at home with his legs propped up on his ottoman."
Yeah, I said, "Mom, I don't know if he's going to make the team." Oh my God! Yeah, it's probably true. Scally, we already talked about him a bunch, but I think the parts that made him look fallible were unfortunately by design of the coach and the manager. I do think he needed to be more on his tippy toes on that goal. On the same part, I would not have had him going as far forward as he did on the occasions that he did, which were not numerous, enough to make me nervous. And so I would say he had a pretty meh game.
At no point should he have been down on the end line at any point in the game. But it happened a couple times. And again, I feel like that has to be orchestrated by Poach himself.
It is.
Hey, I want you to get up a little bit. Try to get yourself involved in the attack.
But overload the right. Yeah. Right.
I'm going to say this about a lot of the players here, quite frankly, in our bench too. I feel like when people start to really have to nitpick the game, I think we're at a point where we're nitpicking to complain about certain things. Because I don't think Scally played bad.
I give him a C.
Scally was this, Scally was that. I'm like, it was an okay game. There's nothing wrong with what he did, except for that getting caught, pushed up too high.
So if I give Freeze a B, I give Scally a C. All right. It's not failing grade, it's average.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It was fine.
Robinson, on the other hand, given a C minus. There were too many sketchy passes, too many sketchy moments, like weird passes that were supposedly or looked like they should be really routine and easy. Now, he had some other good moments on defense, so I'll give him credit for that. But those kind of messy passes, those cannot happen because those lead to counters against better teams.
I mean, there were moments, again, there were moments where he did fine. Perfectly fine. But then, yeah, he's trying to make a 30-yard change of point of attack play to Dest, and he rockets it 5 feet over his head, out of bounds.
Yeah, well, there were some giveaways too.
And there's some dead giveaways too.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, we talked about the goal, and obviously we put some of the blame on Scally because he was pushed up too high.
And Poach.
With his man being behind him at that point. I mean, you gotta have to keep an eye on that. But again, when that ball gets placed into the box, Robinson should have had his head on a swivel, looking around. Where's the ball? Where's the ball likely to go to? Who's it going to? But it's just like he sort of kind of kept going to near post for whatever reason.
I mean, there are 2 ways you can do that. You can continue to play that high, which I think is silly in that situation. Now we've been burned twice in a few games. Richards got burned for the same reason. Mm-hmm. Or you can man mark those guys that are on those. Like Scally could have easily taken a few steps to his right and said, I'm man marking this bitch. He is not getting a pass over my head. And he didn't. So,
yeah. Well, and then you again, for Scally's sake, that he has to notice that his man is a good 10 yards behind him.
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't the moment to start pushing up into the attack. Maybe this is the moment to sort of lull back a bit and just make sure you're covering your bases too.
They were obviously told to do that. They were all high. So
strange.
Yeah. Ream, I'm giving a B. The regular Ream had some moments.
B- area, because I mean there were times where he was slow to get back and react. Not to talk about the goal even. But I mean, he was kind of caught a little out of position at times.
But he does what no other center back can do on this team, which is deliver a pass on the dime, never making big mistakes or getting the ball taken from him. He makes clean passes; they're crisp. I don't know. That's why he's here.
It's pretty apparent. It was pretty apparent throughout the match because I mean, Robinson's first instinct when receiving a ball was always left and give it to Ream.
Yep.
Now, mind you, that's been the MO under Berhalter. That's been the
for everyone. Yes,
in the sense that our center backs would get the ball, and the first thing they would do is look to Ream, and then Ream would look up.
Now Richards,
4,000 years old. Not gonna be here 2030. We need somebody else who can do that shit.
Eventually, Ream or Richards, however, in the same situation, has a little more leeway and does make many more passes.
Agreed.
Through than Robinson does. So. Although he does prefer to tap it off to Ream too. Well, everybody does.
And I was gonna say Richard's play forward is less Ream-like, where Ream will drop a dime, 40 yards away to a guy on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I'll switch fields.
Richards is looking to split the seams up the middle to somebody.
Yeah, and he does it on occasion. Robinson, no. Dest. I mean, it was the Dest we hoped and got. I mean, he was a swashbuckler. I mean, he came up the field with confidence. He was ready to take on anybody. Great stuff. Looking for a little more in the final third, but I think generally really happy with Dest's play.
I think even in the final third, I think he was still refreshing and good because you always thought that ball anywhere around the box, he's looking to shoot, and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, he's gonna put down a goal. We're fine. But the defenders get in the way, they block, a keeper makes a save, whatever.
Yep.
But we don't have that on certain people. Like when we have Freeman out there, Freeman's more up the line, look for that cross type of wingback. Whereas Dest gives you that interconnectivity between Raina and Tessman in this situation. I'm looking at this Ross right here.
Yes,
where it's they're passing back and forth and they're splitting and he's going in, and all of a sudden, and it's just it offers that little bit more because he's that type of a player.
And yes, we are aware that Tessman and Roldan flip-flopped at times. I am also aware that Raina and Aaronson flip-flopped.
100%, yes.
Totally fine. We're just talking some generalities here about this formation. Tessman, I thought, was mostly pretty solid. There were a couple of mistakes. There were a few chip crosses. I thought that it could have been better, but I am overall really happy with his performance. I have no complaints. I give him a B+.
If Tessman could find a newer motor, like if he could pick up a little bit of pace, he would be fucking solid.
It's not happening.
I'm just saying, if he could. That's my only complaint about his game, was that there were just times where he was just so slow to track back or to get into the right position. And periodically you'd see him, busting that forward and everything like that. But I mean, for the most part, he's a pretty slow center midfielder. But he's also pretty keen on that sense. Like he's aware of his issues.
Yes, and his space. Yep.
He's good at his space, and he knows where he needs to move the ball to get rid of the ball. It's not like he's like, oh, I can outrun this guy. No, you can't. He knows that.
Yep. So it's kind of like Beckerman in the old days.
Yeah, exactly.
Beckerman was so slow. Although Beckerman is not even close to as big of a mammal as Tessman is. He does not get pushed around. He's physical,
Yeah.
So
there are a lot of few hysterical moments when the opposing side would go up against Tessman, and Tessman was just like,
"Get off me!
Arm push out."
Me. I know. So I think he's 6'2". He's quite big. I mean, he looked like the biggest player on the pitch. I'll be honest. And then Roldan. Okay, this wasn't the last Roldan game at all, but it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't like what we were thinking might evolve from the last game, where he was kind of near the player of the match. Frankly,
so Roldan has been doing this. He got introduced, and he starts here, then he's here, then he's here, and then it's getting sort of like a little bit down.
A little bit back down.
A little bit back down. And that'll happen. That'll happen to any player, quite frankly. You're going to go through stretches of good games, and all of a sudden, this is game, what the hell happened there type of thing. I don't think he was awful. I don't think he was great.
Right.
Somewhere in the middle.
I'd give him a C. A C. Average. Wasn't good. Rolled on.
Well, like you said, this isn't his last game. I mean, obviously he's got the Uruguay game, but he's going to be included. And then barring something tragic happening next season, he'll probably be in that March window again.
You think he's going to be on the 26th, is what you're saying?
It's possible. I mean, I don't know.
It is totally possible. Yes.
You also got to take into consideration how many of our players are consistently injured.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know. It could be.
Yeah, we talked about Aaronson a bit already. He had the freedom to be a left wing back. And he was really good. Yeah. I mean, he's really good going forward. Really good.
I know Tact was making fun of hey, if Aaronson completes 10 more successful step or scissors and step overs, then I'll stop referring to him as Barfston. But man, he does that a lot. A lot of the scissors.
It's a little unnecessary.
Just to cut back into the middle.
Yeah, it's a little unnecessary. But he has his moments and he has his pluses. His minuses are obvious, but playing a back three helps him not have to be as vulnerable defensively. But there were still some of those moments, and there were a couple giveaways, but everybody did that, so I'm not going to bag on him.
I think this is a good performance by Aaronson. I'm not going to take anything away from him.
Yeah, I'm giving him a B+.
Yeah, somewhere in that range is fine with me.
Somewhere B+, somewhere around there. It was a good game from him generally. Raina, okay, well, a goal, sort of an assist. By the way, Aarson's set pieces way better than Pulisic's.
Yeah,
way better.
Well, it's clear that the set piece coach or whatever is pretty hell bent on doing the corner kicks where you're kicking it back in instead of kicking it out.
Yeah,
because Gio took the ones on the left and
swinger inners.
Right. Yeah,
swinger inners. So that's what we used to call them. And I mean those can be really deadly because you just have to redirect them.
A little touch.
That's it. While it's the other direction, you're gonna have to actually direct it and get some power on it. Because it's swinging towards you, not away from you. Away from you, you just got to nick it, basically. All right, and redirect it. So Raina, I was really, really happy with Raina. I, despite the comments and criticism from others about his defense, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, I think Doug, and I think we're fine here. And Doug, it's no offense. I just disagree.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I think Gio was more lively in that game than I've seen him in a long time. He was actively pushing. He was actively cutting off. He was requesting the ball. I mean, he was the general, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see. The confidence has never wavered. He's there. He's that guy.
Yes, he is. He's back. And, that's funny listening to my mom when he scored the goal and saw him, big close-ups. He's like, oh, my God, that's Gio Reyna? I was like, yes. He's like, he's not a boy anymore. No, he's not a boy anymore. This is a grown-ass man. And she's like, he looked awkward and kind of weird before, but now he's kind of a good-looking guy. I'm like, yes, he grew into himself. Hopefully he's growing into his own body and his consciousness is getting better. But boy, was he good. Anybody still criticizing Gio Reyna? I know. People said, oh, you guys, Gio Reyna.
Yeah. Well, there's reasons. And people are like, well, geez, he might show up for the national team, but he doesn't really show up for the club level. I'm like, you know what? I'll take a national team player that balls out for the U.S. men's national team and then has a mediocre club level. I don't care.
Yeah, there are other players that have done that, so it's nothing new, right? Who's the guy on Colombia that they keep bringing back? Yeah. So it's not unheard of. And he's just really good for us when he plays for us. So let's keep bringing him, I say. And I do honestly think, looking at Gladbach, that he will get more minutes eventually.
Yeah.
Once they get out of the, oh, shit, we're in the bottom of the table zone, and they get more towards the middle of the table, and they want to be more aggressive against the Mainzes and the St. Paulis and the other teams, and they're not just, their teeth are chattering together because they're nervous. So we can't lose to St. Pauli. Fuck.
No, you really can't. You really can't.
Yeah. Because that's not good, and I'm going to lose my job, says the manager. Well,
once the interim manager.
Yes. And once he gets into the mid-table and they're a little more stable and comfortable, they're working their way towards that. And they're playing teams they should romp, 4-0. Because they've reestablished, and they are looking better. Like the Gladbach we've watched in the last 3 games is the Gladbach we expected. They're scoring goals. They're playing better defense.
A competent team, not a mid-table team, not necessarily league contenders at all, but they're a competent mid-table team. They had a rough start.
Yeah. So we will see more of Reyna when the manager isn't worried about leaking goals anymore. And he wants more. He wants to outscore his opponent. All right. Yeah. So Aaronson, we already talked about at length. So I'm not really revisiting that.
Some bad.
Yeah. I would give, by the way, Raina an A-.
Yeah. I'm good. A- area.
Yeah. I'm giving.
Not sure what else you want from him outside of goal and assist.
Right. I'm giving Aaronson a B-. He tried really hard. I hate saying this, but it's just what it is, right?
Again, there's so many simple flashes that he does. It's like, oh, that was really good. But then it's
really good.
1, 2, 3 touches. You're like, dude, get the ball off your fucking foot. I get stuck again. God damn.
Yeah.
It's just simple things, dude.
Into a hole. Yeah, he dribbles himself into like no end.
Brenden, when you beat that one man, maybe that second guy, maybe you lift your head up and look for your man, because I guarantee there's going to be somebody open around you that you can lay it off, and then all of a sudden we're not sitting here going like, B-. We'd be like, dude, that's like a B+. Not a bad play by this guy.
Yeah, but a little, again, the fallibility in the final third continues to be an issue. And then Balogun, he was a ghost in the first half. Wasn't all his fault, but he scored the winning goal, so I guess that gives you a bonus, so I'll give him a B.
Where I'm landing
yeah. I feel like
you couldn't do much, but when asked, you came through.
I feel like somebody needs to be working with him on finding open space. They did man mark him quite a bit, but can we find a way as a manager to find space for Balogun? Like Paraguay was very well aware of Balogun. They were not going to give him that space. So then it's up to the manager to help that player go from a C+ or a B performance to an A by figuring out a way to provide some space for him by moving other players around. I didn't really see that. I did not see a correction for that in the second half. We're not going to go over the bench players because I just don't hate judging bench players by 10 minutes, 15 minutes of play. But I'm not going to smash Pepi into the ground or I can't rate Berhalter's 10 minutes, whatever it was. I can't do that. So I'm not going to.
Yeah, there's not really much to talk. I mean, they fought out the rest of the game, and
we talked about Luna. I think when he came on, he was really great. And if I had to give him a grade, I'd give him a B+. I thought he was really good and very effective and on counters. But that's not a whole lot of time. I can't really give him a score, honestly.
Yeah. It's tough to do.
Yeah. All right. So should we build the starting 11 versus Uruguay? Let's try it. Who do we take away? You don't have to rebuild the whole thing because a lot of this
100%.
It's going to stay the same, you would think.
So first things. What was that?
Fireworks. Some idiots shooting fireworks 2 miles from me or a mile from me somewhere.
Okay. So I think McKenzie's coming in over Miles.
I think that's a fair thing. Is it possible Trusty? I think the problem with bringing Trusty on is he's a left center back, not a right center back.
Yeah, we have 3 left center backs.
I know. Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, my pick. I mean, I don't know how Poach is going to look at this, whether or not he wants to give Trusty a starting role here, or if he's going to bring him in late. But the fact that McKenzie and Trusty did not come in, especially when holding off, a 2-1 lead, would lead me to think that they're both going to start. But I could see Scally starting over Trusty, and then Trusty coming in like the 60th, 70th minute.
Yeah, probably. That's what I would guess too. I don't think they're going to screw too much around with this lineup, honestly. Dest, I think, is going to start again.
Perhaps like a Berhalter over a Roldan, or do you think Roldan's going to get the start again?
I think that it's going to be Roldan again. I'll be honest with you.
I do too. Yeah, I think you're right in the sense I don't see too much shifting here as far as starters. No, and we say that, and then Poach is going to come out, and then all of a sudden
change 6 guys
starting for Aaronson. We got Freeman at Dest, Luna in for Raina,
Morrison for Tessman
over Balogun. I mean, anything is possible. This is tough though.
Yep,
it's tough.
I mean, you could see Luna for Aaronson.
Derek, let's do this because it could be anything. Poach is, hot and cold. Who knows what? What would you change about the lineup?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't change anything. I honestly think let's just go with the same roster, the same starting 11, and make different subs. But
I wonder though, because what's the big thing we say about Brenden Aaronson?
Well, that would be my only thought, which is Luna.
Yeah, he tried. He put in a lot of effort. He busted his butt there. He did a lot of work. But that's also what Luna does too. Luna puts in a lot of work. And you have that more creative option moving forward.
I would be completely happy with it being Raina and Luna starting. I would be an
interesting double, and I like it.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Get the Luna in there. Yeah, aside from that, I mean, it's possible that he gives Wright the start over Balogun. It's possible that Pepi could get the start over Balogun.
I don't think so, but I do think that Pepi will come in and play another 20, 25, and respect the fact that he's really still coming back from an injury. So not play him too much, but give him more time. And I would not be surprised to see Wright get some time as a 10. And I know you're saying, well, that's weird. But didn't he kind of play a pinched-in winger for like 2 seasons for Coventry City? The answer is yes, he did.
More like a second striker.
Second striker, which is what a lot of the 10 work is going forward. So we could see that. But other than that, I just think this is probably what it's going to be up. But I'm saying probably in the sense meaning I have no fucking clue what Poach is going to do. None.
Who else were we missing from the midfield? We had Berhalter come in. Who else is in our center midfield area?
Morris.
Yes, Morris came into this, right?
Yep, and he was fine, but I don't know. I mean,
I could see Poach. Again, this is kind of what I would just stick with, but I could see Poach going with Berhalter because he's been kind of a very big proponent of Berhalter's. But I mean, we also do have to look at the fact that we're going into the last window or two here before the World Cup, and we need some level of consistency because Testament and Roldan probably are not going to be our starting midfielder in the World Cup. I wouldn't imagine so.
No way.
You'd have at least Adams in there, and then whoever. I mean, I imagine my ideal lineup would be McKinney and Adams in that double pivot.
Yep.
But who knows where Poach wants to play McKinney? He's been playing McKinney more in that one of the 10 pivots. So,
but he can also play a wingback spot too if you need in a pinch, or a right or center back. I mean, he can play anywhere, frankly.
As his former coach said, I can play Weston anywhere besides goalkeeper.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually a decent goalkeeper, not club level or national team level, but hey, if Free's got a red card and you had to throw in a player in there, maybe you just throw McKinney in.
Might as well. Although honestly, I think it'd probably be more someone like McKenzie or Ream. I don't know.
I don't think either of them are fast enough to get down on the ball or anything like that, man. I guess they would look like tree trunks falling after being chopped down.
Maybe, yeah.
I had to pick somebody here, kind of maybe Aaronson.
Yeah, he looks like a general athlete.
Fast enough, and
he's tall. He's 6'2", 6'1". Yeah.
No, I think that's who I probably put in there.
Yeah, probably. All right, predictions. For the Uruguay game. I'm going 1-1.
If Poach comes out with an aggressive lineup, sort of like what we have here, with the Dest and Narston, our 2-10s, and our striker of choice, I'm riding high off of it. I'm still going to go for a win. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm sticking with 2-1.
Okay. I'm going to go 1-1.
That's not me bashing on Uruguay by any means. I'm just saying I'm feeling a high right now. And I haven't really felt the high with the USMNT national team for a while.
Right. And this isn't your same Uruguay team, but they're still got a lot of really good players. People are saying, well, Paraguay, they're just as good as Uruguay. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's historical bias for me, but Uruguay's always been a better overall team than Paraguay. So I can't actually remember a time than Paraguay. I mean, in qualifying, anything can happen in South America. But just generally, the paper team that is put on paper, I should say, Uruguay seems to always be better.
Did we hold them to a 1-0 loss in Copa? Is that accurate?
Uruguay?
Yeah.
We lost, for sure.
Yeah, I'm saying. Did we hold them to a 1-0 loss?
I thought it was 2-0, but I don't know. My memory's
shot. Loss is the loss at the end, I guess, but I don't recall that game being overbalanced in their favor to an extent. I mean, it's still probably in their favor, but not saying that Copa was great for us by any means.
No,
but I'm saying, I don't know. I feel like everybody believes in Poach's game plan at this point, and we're pushing it pretty hard.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks, that'll do it for now. We'll be back for the live call of the game on Tuesday. No show on Monday.
No show on Monday. Yep.
Yep. So we'll be back there. We'll be back here on Tuesday. We'll see you then. Until then, good night.
That hurt.